only a couple days to go, and this election is over. Is it even fair to call this an election? I mean, it's like slow playing you to a certain conclusion that the others, the elites, have already concluded for you is the way it's going to be. They gave you the illusion that you were voting for something that you believed in, and the coronation is going according to plan. No deviation, folks. There's no amount of suspicion. There's no amount of facts. There's no amount of anything that is derailing this farce of an election. So yesterday, my phone rang, I swear, no less than 12 times, 4 of which I answered. Of those calls, it was Hillary supporters from Maryland, Hillary supporters from Pennsylvania, Camp Hillary calling to make sure that they could count on me to vote for Hillary. They were really good actors. They were I believe they believe they're really fighting for their candidate. But I gave them an earful. I don't think they were expecting Steve Grumbine on the other end of that phone. And I sat there and I walked them through step by step. I said, do me a favor. How do you think Berta Kacharis would vote on November 8th? How do you think Berta Kacharis would vote? How do you think the people in Syria would vote? How about the people in Libya? How about the Iraqi people? How do you think any of these people in Yemen might consider voting? They're like, well, you don't think she would actually really take us to war, do you? Swear to God. I was like, have you been living under a rock? Or you just been smoking the correct the record crack pipe? And they're like, well, sir, we certainly appreciate your efforts to vote for your choice of candidate, but have you considered your Lord and Savior, Hillary Clinton? They really are coming out in droves, folks. I've gotten to the point where our inbox is filled with Hillbots that have stayed silent, that are now suddenly asking us to consider what it is that we're doing. They know that we're not Trump supporters. They know we're good-intentioned, well-intentioned lefties. They're trying everything. They already tried to slam us, tell us we were idiots. Then they tried to slam us, telling we were pie in the sky. Now they're telling us we're well-intentioned lefties. You know, that if we somehow or another could just see the error in our ways. So, each one of them, you know, I used to bring the Watchtower people into my house. I have my coffee out, break out the Bible, say, come on in, let's talk some turkey. Well, I did that to the Hillary people as well. It's just good sport. I figure if you're on the phone and I'm on the phone, doesn't that make it our time? So let me tell you about Jill Stein. Let me tell you about rigged elections. Let me tell you about what you need to do to prevent my child from dying in war. And I had some good fun with it. I did. I'm not going to lie. I don't think I changed any minds, though, folks. I'm sorry to say. I don't think any of them listened to me. I mean, they listened. But they were like scrambling in their little book. What is the answer to that question? What is the answer to that question? How do I answer this thing about balanced budgets? What do I do with this whole monetary sovereignty thing? Yes, you got a dose of economics. Man, they were like, damn, how do I get out of this call? Maybe if I accidentally hit the hang up button. Folks, I turned each one of these things into a fun time. It was either fun or I talked about war and I talked about people dying. And honest to God, they didn't have a clue what I was talking about. It was like I was coming from some far off planet, speaking some sort of foreign language to them. And that's when I realized the Democrats got nothing for me. These people are just as clueless as the day is long. Like it was shocking. And they were volunteers, so they mean to do what they're doing. They said, I'd like to volunteer. I want to help out with a political campaign. So they're participating in democracy, albeit something ridiculously horrible. But they are participating, so hats off to the folks that are volunteering, even if I hate what you stand for. But they genuinely didn't have a clue. It was like everything I said to them was like the first time they'd ever heard it. That's frightening. And that should tell you what we're up against, folks. We've got very, very few avenues by which to get the word out. We got Facebook, which stifles the crap out of our reach. 91,000 followers, 62 viewers. We have YouTube. Well, it's hard as hell to get our loyal fan base to get over there on our YouTube channel so that we could avoid the Facebook claptrap. They've got progress by the nuts. And they are literally holding us by the short hairs, preventing us from really, really organizing. And it's up to us to beat the gong. But these people genuinely didn't have a clue what I was talking about. They really seemed shocked when I called her a warmonger. They really, really seemed shocked when I said that she's going to privatize Social Security. They were mind blown when I talked about fracking. Mind blown. Like, what? Are you kidding me? Hillary's a Democrat. She's not the Republican. I'm like, in name only. But then again, there is no such thing as a dino anymore. Democrats are who we thought they were. Just Republicans with better bedside manners. And then, I don't know if you guys use this or not, but I use an app called Smart News. I do it just to find out what's going on in the world, and I've subscribed to a whole bunch of different publications to find things of interest. And literally, this much, like my phone is this big. My phone is that big, and the entire screen was filled with anti-Trump fear porn. Every single thing I'd swipe, it was nothing but anti-Trump fear porn. So I've got to do the dig, man. I got to go to Truth Dig, Truth Out, Counterpunch. I got to go all around. It's hard work to find the truth. So can you really blame the Hillbots and the Hillbots for not knowing anything? I don't know how to penetrate that, but I'm going to try. I'm going to keep trying. But we've got a tall lift, folks. These people were like wave after wave. I've never been bombarded with so many phone calls in one day for a campaign in my life. Usually I'll get 1 or 2 a week. But I literally had 12 phone calls, 4 of which I answered. That is insane. They are out in force. And can you imagine? This is the tough part. For the Bernie supporters. Yeah, I'm talking to you guys out there that fell prey to Bernie said to vote for Hillary, so I'm going to vote for Hillary. You guys know better. You were around. You got the straight dope. What's up with you? I mean, I can forgive them kind of, because idiocy is built. It's created. They sit there and they create that kind of a cacophony of echo chamber sound. You know, first president, Madam President, Madam President. And they don't hear anything outside of it because it's hard work. And they've been told anything you hear other than this is a lie. So this is the only truth that matters. So this is why they end up where they are. But the Bernie supporters that fell for it. Wow. You know better. You know the truth. You know better. Why don't you do better? There's not. Do y'all? Let me ask you. Let's ask the people out here. Is there anything revolutionary about voting for the person they're going to install anyway? Is there a remotely remotely revolutionary act in voting for Hillary. I mean, seriously. I cannot find a single revolutionary atom or molecule in voting for Hillary or championing Hillary. That is the absolute opposite. That is completely counter to anything revolutionary in the least. Staying within the duopoly and trying to change it from the inside out, I can make a case that a coup within the Democratic Party is revolutionary. I can make that case. I didn't say I agree with it, but I can make that case. But actually supporting it, running around voting for it, telling people to do it, I don't know, folks. That kind of seems like you just rolled over, went fetal, and died. That kind of seems like you said, hey, guys, I'll tell you where Morpheus and Neo are if you just reinsert me back into the Matrix. But please, give me my filet mignon before you do it. I want to taste some fake meat. That's what that's like to me. That's what it's like to me. I don't have any other answer for it. Every time I see it, every time I hear it, all I can think about is, wow, you really, really, really wanted the fake steak. You really, really wanted to see the fake computer girl in the red dress really badly. I have no other answer for you, folks. So, looking at the way things are playing out, understanding that everyone's suffering from a bit of fatigue, both within the revolution, working it, being part of the organizations that actually are doing activism, and being a casual observer that supports those acts, and being someone who just pays attention, I can understand fatigue from this thing. I can understand it like you wouldn't believe. But giving prey to fatigue is not revolutionary either. You need to go ahead and get some rest. You're going to cast your vote. It's going to happen. Whatever's going to happen is going to happen at this point. You did your best. We've done our best. We have to do better next time. We need to fight tooth and nail between now and Tuesday to help Jill get 5% and make it so that it's absolutely impossible for them to pretend that she didn't get at least 5%. We need to make sure that we talk to anybody and everybody to make sure that the Jill supporters are loud and proud that they cannot deny 5% to Jill Stein. That is so... That's my Super Bowl right now, folks. That's my Super Bowl. Get the lady 5%. Get the Green Party 5%. And then, just like Bernie's talking about holding Hillary's feet to the fire, guess what my job is in my mind? We get you to 5%. We get you matching funds. I want to see you put a ground game together for local candidates, Green Party. Yeah, I'm talking to you now. I want to see you build a party. Not just be around every 4 years, folks. I want to see you build a party. If you're not going to do it, move out of the way. We'll find another way to do it. But if you will do it, if you will take local politics seriously, and you will build a local ground game, and you will not be only about presidential politics, I think you're going to find an incredible amount of support within the progressive community. And maybe it would be a good idea when you look at all the progressives that are not green, that may support Jill, but are not green still. Maybe it might be a good idea to talk to us and think about possibly rebranding and creating a new, inclusive, progressive party, like the Progressive Independent Party, maybe. The bottom line is that if you guys don't get on your ground game, many of these Bernie supporters that are just woke enough to yell during the election will go back to sleep on November 9th. And they'll be back to vote blue no matter who. Because Bernie Sanders was a once-in-a-lifetime candidate, even if he was hamstrung by Hillary. Even if he was hamstrung by Hillary. He had a certain persona, certain character, certain way of doing things that struck a nerve with everybody across the aisle. There are people that were Republicans that love Bernie, people that were far left that love Bernie, anarchists love Bernie, even libertarians love Bernie. Bernie had a certain something that you're not probably going to find every election, so it's got to be about more than presidential elections. We've got to change this country from the ground up. And we need to make it so that when these Hill bots call us on the phone to tell us to vote for a warmonger, that it's not the first time they've heard the information. That it's not the first time they've heard us talk about caring about our kids too much to vote for Hillary. As an example, we need to be able to have something firm in place to counter a re-election of Hillary Rodham Clinton in 2020. We've got to have something in place, and we've got to demand. And here's a moment of truth for you guys. Here is a moment of painful truth. Let's say, hypothetically, and we know, I mean, seriously, we know this is not going to happen, but let's just say we did know this was going to happen. Let's say Jill suddenly got more than enough votes to win the presidency. Well, we know that our nation's electoral politics rely on the very, very undemocratic Electoral College. And we know that the duopoly controls the Electoral College. We've got work to do, folks. Here's what I suspect. I suspect that at some point in time, a third-party candidate is going to win the popular vote. And the Electoral College is going to go against that. And it's going to spark serious revolt. It's going to spark serious revolt. I pray to God it's not violent, but I know it's going to be serious. And at that point in time, that is my guess as to when we knock down the duopoly. I hate to say it like that, but it's going to take a massive situation like that is so clearly fraud, that is so clearly not the will of the people, that is so clearly tied to the corruption of the two-party system, that it will be clear to all and we will revolt at that point. That is what I'm guessing. I could be wrong. I'm not Nostradamus, and I certainly don't like filling in holes that I can't have facts for. But I do know the Electoral College is who actually selects the President of the United States. I do know that there are barriers right now to this day that make what we're trying to do now, which is generate enough movement to create a third-party revolution outside the duopoly. And there is a lot of work there to do, folks. Anybody that tells you otherwise is not being honest with you. They're not being truthful with you. And I am 1,000% on board for this fight, but you got to know what you're fighting for. Otherwise, you're going to get your feelings hurt when you don't get what you want. And we need to accept that we probably won't get what we want. And that's okay, because that's part of the fight. We didn't get here overnight. We're not going to get out of it overnight. It's a marathon, not a sprint. And that's why I keep saying over and over and over again, this cult of personality shit is the antithesis. It's everything wrong with the fake revolution. The people caught up in the cult of personality are not committed to revolutionary thinking. And we've got to make people realize it's the movement, stupid. You remember the old Bill Clinton thing? It's the economy, stupid. It needs to be, it's the movement, stupid. People, places, and things, they'll fail you all the time. But ideals stay firm. And if we understand that our road to the White House requires a road through the county and state houses, if we understand we've got to build something incredible here, folks, if we understand that, then there's no way any of you guys check out, because you know the work is just getting started. I can tell you right now, this is a warning to all Green Party people who are in positions of power. If you take progressives for granted, if you take the people that are not green right now for granted. You'll never be more than the very, very small slice of the pie you are. You'll be looking a gift horse in the mouth. You have got to open up and bring us all in. And I've been fighting like hell for Jill, but I'm telling you right now, Green Party, heed my warning. If you don't welcome people in, if you start saying, well, the old timers, I don't care about the old timers. I don't have any loyalty to the old timers. I care about progress. I don't care about your party politics. I care about progress. If you want us, you will then welcome us in, and you will allow us to put our stamp on there as well. Or you will end up being left at the altar next time. You have got to bring us in way earlier. You've got to build grassroots movements at the county and state level. You cannot do this without a ground game. You cannot do it without a ground game. You cannot do it without the will of the people backing you. And I understand how hard it is for you guys right now. You've worked your butt off trying to get Jill, and she's a fantastic candidate, and I love her, and I'm supporting her with all my heart. But you cannot make the kind of progress you want to make without understanding you've got to fundamentally change. Your structure's got to change. Your idea has got to change. It's got to expand. It's got to broaden. You got to speak to people with other experiences. You've got to bring a lot more color to the table. You've got to bring a lot more ideas to the table, because fact of the matter is, I'm worried about you guys and I want to help. I was grateful to see you guys talking MMT. I'm grateful to see that, but you need to embrace MMT openly and boldly. And then the smart kids will come over there too. The smart kids will start fighting tooth and nail for anybody who openly advocates for modern monetary theory. Hell, you'll get me 24/7 for years, not just during an election cycle. I will go to the mat for anybody, count it, anybody that openly advocates for modern monetary theory. I will freaking give up everything to help you. But you got to be openly advocating for it so people learn, the regular people learn. And it can't be in 4 years when you handpick your next presidential candidate. It's got to be more than, hey, I've been in the Green Party for 5 years. You've got to pay attention to me first. I'm an old timer. I don't care about your seniority. If you don't have the right ideas, you're not leading me anywhere except to another party. Get it through your head. Your seniority means nuts to me. I want to help. I will do everything I can to help. Real progressives will do everything they can short of being directly tied to a party. We will advocate for the causes you want. We will advocate for the issues you want. We will give a platform for you to speak without endorsing. But you have got to open up that tent, because these Hillary people, they're droning on through life because they see that electoral politics is the blocker. They don't have a long-term view. And it's up to you to explain it to people. It's up to you not to go into hibernation. It's up to you to keep riding this wave and guide this revolution beyond November 8th. If you don't do that, if you forsake that, then don't come calling in 4 years, because I'll be looking elsewhere. That's my guarantee. I want to help. You open the doors, you open it up, and the progressives will come. You may need to rebrand, like I said. It may not be able to stay the Green Party because people have a bitter taste in their mouth. But you got to go ahead and expand the tent. You got to grow bigger than that. You got to show that you can govern. Not to me. I understand all these people don't know how to govern. But to the people that think somehow or another you got to show your experience, hey, we got to go ahead and reach them too. So as Tuesday comes around, I'm not even sweating the election. I'm going to fight hard for Jill, but I'm preparing for today and beyond. I'm preparing for a revolution, a real political revolution, one that doesn't suckle back into the establishment. And now I'm not talking about Bernie. I'm talking about the movement itself. Bernie's doing the... Let me tell you something else, too. I talked to somebody about this the other day. Bernie would have literally castrated himself because the electoral politics of this whole thing are not taken care of yet. It's going to have to be up to someone else to do that part of it. But Bernie is going to be bringing along Stephanie Kelton. I got a lot of faith in Stephanie Kelton. I got more faith in Stephanie Kelton than I do in Bernie Sanders, if that tells you how strong I feel about the lady. I've got more faith. I would love to vote for a President Kelton someday. I would love to see Stephanie Kelton as the Federal Reserve Chief. I would love to see Stephanie Kelton be anything she wants to be that's at the top of the food chain because her ideas are tight and she's got the right people surrounding her to make all the right moves. If you don't know who she is, look her up. And on the 14th and 15th of November, after this fiasco is over, I'll be covering 2 separate economic, I don't know what you call them, forums on Capitol Hill. On the 14th, I'll be doing it. On the 15th, we'll have a new person helping out Real Progressives, someone you know. I'm not really announcing yet. But you'll have somebody there on the 15th covering how to prevent the next recession. And it would be really good of the Green Party to pay attention to this stuff. To not go into a cocoon, to not wander away, but to stay plugged in so they can influence these things. I want to influence it. I want to change it. I don't have 100 years. I want to change things now in the short term, and I want to change things in the long term. It takes an inside-outside strategy, and we can't hold our nose anywhere. We've got to make progress. So with that, I'm Steve Grumbine. I hope you have a great day. Please support Real Progressives. Please go to our Patreon. If you can afford to donate, donate. If you'd like to write for Real Progressives, please go to our website and go ahead and sign up to be a writer. And if you have something that you can offer to Real Progressives in a volunteer fashion, or if you'd actually like to, send us some information about who you are and what you do and how you think you can help Real Progressives. We're looking for people that are legal. We're looking for lawyers that are willing to donate pro bono work for now until we can make it paid. We're looking for people that are PhDs in education that can help guide things. We're looking for technical writers. We're looking for video editors. We're looking for people that understand videography. We're looking for activists. We're looking for anything that you guys think will bring value to our 4 pillars. With that, I'm Steve Grumbine. Have a wonderful day.